Hi everybody, welcome to the show today. Well, in 7 days it's winter again. Happy Friday to my fellow Michigan guys from last Friday when it was doing this, because this video is next Friday. Never mind that now. But guys, I've got something exciting I need to share with you. So I was just out in the barn, minding my own business, working on stuff. I heard a door shut. Well, guess what? I think I have a starter. Let's go see if that 560 will run. There. Wow. Let me kick that loud heater off. There, guys, I had to turn the heater toward that tractor. I got an email notification about this morning that said, hey, your starter's en route. Well, it's about dang time. So I decided I'd come out here, point that heater right at the tractor, and just for good measure, because everything wants to start better when it's warmer. Now, guys, you'll notice there's a couple buckets underneath this thing. So the other day, I got a little story to tell you. The other day, guys, I come out here thinking I might try some of the things, some of the suggestions you guys offered to make that starter turn in the wrong direction, which would be the right direction for this tractor. I'm going to show you how that worked out. But I deleted all that video. While I was doing that video, I thought there might be water in the bottom of this thing because there's been so much other strange rust and whatnot in here. So I drained a little bit of fluid out of the back and a little bit of fluid out of the middle here. I got about 8 ounces of water out of it. That's fine. At least it wasn't 5 gallons or better. So probably don't have any water in it now. Of course, I'm going to have to get it running, drive it around for a while, get all the juices and fluids flowing in there, and get everything dropped and changed. But I'm not going to do that today, guys. If this thing starts, I'm going to go find myself something more fun to do, just because that's been such a battle for the last several weeks. So friends, as far as this starter goes, and this starter for that matter, so I've been trying and trying to get a start. You wouldn't think it'd be that hard a deal. Just get on eBay or yesterday's tractor, whatever you like. Find a starter for a 560 Farmall, order it. 3 days later, it shows up at your house and you're good to go. No, none of that worked out for me at all. First starter I ordered on eBay said it was going to be here, whatever it was. That I don't remember the days, guys, but it was supposed to be between Tuesday and Thursday of last week. So I'm sitting around here Tuesday thinking, well, that'd be great. I could have the video for this thing ready to go by Friday. Tuesday rolls around, nothing. Wednesday, nothing. Thursday, I sent a note to the fine person that offered to sell me that starter in that allotted time frame, and I said, hey, said Tuesday to Thursday, it's Thursday, and I see you haven't even shipped it yet. Either give me back my money or I'm going to tell everybody on YouTube that you probably shouldn't buy from this guy if you're looking for stuff in a reasonable amount of time. He immediately refunded my money and apologized. So that's fine. I won't go into that one anymore. So with that, I decided, well, Amazon, free 2-day delivery or whatever. I got on Amazon, ordered a starter. Paid the extra even, because this wasn't even an Amazon Prime deal. This was one of these, here's what you get. Paid the extra. Tuesday came and went again, no starter. So here we are now to the following Friday. I have a starter. Hope it works. Another guy on eBay had this one, and it's a little shorter in the rear here, but that's just because the nose cone's different but the same. Can't see any good reason why it shouldn't work, I guess. Let's do some measuring, just to be sure. Because I'd hate for this to not work, just like the other 17 things I've tried for this thing have not worked. So there's that. So end to the end, let's call that 3.4 inches. End to the end, we're a little bit more than 3.4 inches, but not necessarily anything that has to do with anything. So this to where the end of the bendix kick out, exactly 2.7. Exactly 2.7. That should be just fine. I don't see any reason why the nose cone should be any different. Unless it is, which I don't know. Center to center on the bolts. Roughly 3.6. Roughly 3 points. Okay, guys, I'm pretty certain this starter's going to work. That's great. Now, let's just set this aside over here. Now, I wanted to share something with you guys, and I only wanted to share this because I found it more interesting. So, you would not believe how hard it is to get one of these starters to turn in the wrong direction. Now, guys, with that being said, you would absolutely think that being a DC motor, if you hook the cables up backwards, it probably should turn the engine backwards, because that just makes sense. You'd be wrong to think that in this case. And maybe some of you knew that already, but I had enough comments that said, just do that. I thought, well, okay, I will. I will just do that. And then I'll just find another battery to hook a positive to on the coil to see if I can get it to start, because I wanted to hear this tractor run. Guys, you wouldn't believe me if I told you, so I'm going to show you. So, we'll do it the right way first. Positive where positive should be. Negative to negative where it should be. Booster hooked up. Screwdriver for safety. Now, there, guys, I know that's not great, but it's the best I can do. So, I'm going to stick my screwdriver right here, hit the button, not working, turning this way. Now, this is where it gets more fun, and again, wouldn't have believed this if someone would have told me, but now that I've seen it, I have to believe it. Hook it up backwards. Positive on. Starter. Again, screwdriver in. Turns the exact same way. Changing the polarity, not going to be an option. All right, let's get this out of here in case I need it to start that tractor. So friends, at that point, I went one step further. I went ahead and popped the bolts off of here, popped it all apart, and I thought I'd see if I could switch the direction of the brushes, thinking that might turn it the wrong way. Guys, I can't tell you if that would work or not because the little ground cable that goes to this brush and this brush, or maybe it's this one, I don't know, whatever, can't get it to go to this side. And the power cable that goes from this brush to this brush is not long enough to get it here or here. Well, one of them, but not the other. So guys, I could hook 1 out of 3 brushes back up. I wasn't able to make that work. Just not going to happen. So that's where we're at with that, guys. That's where I'm going to leave that. Let's go on to something that hopefully will work. So it's just been, like I said, friends, an ongoing battle trying to make anything work in this. Now this is a little different here. You see how this one has these, a guy could reverse those brushes if he had to, because you can now unbolt. This is where the ground cable hooked on. You could, never mind, hopefully we don't have to do that. I don't see any reason why we should have to do that. All right, never mind. Let's get this in here. Okay, you. Done this so many times, I should be better at it. I should be the best at it. Okay, there's that. Let's get these down in here so I can steer. Okay, that one started. Now this guy. Oh, you little devil. You're going to fight me all the way, aren't you? This there. There we go. Get you up here. Start it in there. Okay. There we go. Contestant number 3, and this is the most fun one because it's way down here where you can't really see. Yeah, let me just grab a long extension and try to force feed it. Okay. Let's get you, come on now. I got all this other stuff in the way. By golly, I think that bit. You son of a gun. Oh, I hope this works, guys. I'd like to move this tractor to anywhere but here. Tighten this guy up. I can do that one with my fingers for now. And of course, this one's going to kick and scream the whole darn way. Okay, yeah, that's a bite. I feel you biting. Will you tighten? Hell to the no. That son of a gun. What a terrible place for that bolt to be. Ain't like it's going anywhere, but I need to make sure it's right. Okay, before I go doing anything else, guys, let's see if this stupid thing even works. If it does work, some new cables are going to be in my future. These sure are stiff. Just get on there. Just snug that up a little bit. Let's just see if the engine rolls over. I might have really spent a lot of time and money on absolutely nothing. Won't be the last time, I'm sure, unfortunately. Okay. That one there. That one there. How about that? You're rolling over finally for the first time in your life. Geez, guys, it's a good news day. Kind of want to get some beer. I don't need this occasion to get beer, but it sure helps. Makes you feel better about everything. So I'm going to set this starter right up here so I can get up on this tractor and try to start it. But I still got to get this other bolt tight down here because it's going to let me know that it's not tight. And I'm not going to like that. Let's get that finished. I don't know if this gear wrench will fit in there, but if it will, that'll hopefully... Yeah, I'm going the right way. Well, I never talk about an impossible... Okay, I think it's turning. It's going to take me half the dang day. There we go. Now we're working. Just 10 more minutes, I'll have this right where it needs to be. Okay. After all this time, guys, the suspense is building in a way you can't believe. So, guys, I'm just going to jump up on here, hook my hot wire up, turn the gas on. Let's see what happens. Honestly, I have no idea what to expect. Put my drawbar back here. My points probably re-corroded themselves and then it won't start, but maybe. Oh, got all the way up here and I don't have my jumper. I don't want to turn that way. Must have some more water in it that's still frozen. Oh well. Okay, back up we go. I'd hate to be older than I am right now and try to figure out how to get on and off this thing a handful of times. There's that. I don't see any sparks, so that means the coil's probably not working. That's cool. Choke. Do we even have a choke cable on this thing? I did. Let's see what happens, guys. So far, nothing. Okay. Great, starter's already shot. Okay, let's call that off for a minute and check out and see why we don't have spark. As I'm sure that's what's going on here. At least it rolls over good. I mean, I guess I can't ask for anything more than that at this moment. Okay, let's unhook. Oh, no. She's making all kinds of sparks on that battery now. Huh. Well, okay, let's do the next best thing. Let's pull a spark plug and have a look there. Okay, how about you? You're going to be my lucky. Sounds like the compression's good, or good enough anyway. That's a bonus. Okay, down you go, all the way to the floor. Of course, bent my, can't win. Okay, throw a little bit of gap on that. That's a nice dark place to put a spark plug to see if it sparks. Let's see what it says. Okay, I definitely got spark. So I feel good about that. That just means I've got some sort of a fuel issue that I need to figure out now. Let's put this guy back in. Is my needle in the seat stuck? Something else going on? Do I not have enough gas in the tank? That's entirely possible too. I did put some in. I got more. Oh, let's put that back in the right way. Okay, good, good. And good, okay. On to the other side. I gotta say, at least this isn't like my Ford that has the distributor and carburetor and the starter all right on top of each other, because that's just a fire waiting to happen. Okay, so I got fuel to my filter. I assume I have fuel going into the bowl here. I have a drip. Can't see any reason why this shouldn't work, unless maybe it's totally flooded. Yeah, no, that can't. I don't think that's the case. I probably should pull this guy right out of here, though. In fact, that's a terrific idea. I am going to pull this guy right out of here, get the intake tube right out of the way, because Who knows what I'm sucking in from this thing? Maybe she's choked completely out, guys. That's a real problem. We don't need that either. All these things I didn't think about doing earlier. Let's see, what size do I got here? It's going to be one of those that breaks right off immediately. In fact, I ain't even going to try because I know it's going to break off. So let's see if I can break it off. By golly, that screw is turning in there. I wouldn't believe that if I wasn't sitting right here looking at it happen, but it's happening. Excellent. Jeez almighty, look at that. Okay, good. Let's get this mess right out of the way. Now I'll at least be able to see what's going on in there. Maybe give it a little huff if it needs a little huff, but something tells me I need more fuel because that carburetor is absolutely dry as a bone inside. Is my choke cable working? Yes, choke cable is working. So that's good. Guys, I'm going to put a little bit more fuel in the tank. Can't hurt any at this point. My instant snowmobile priming gas, this little mixed gas to keep in here with a hole in the side so you can get in there to your snowmobile carbs where you don't have this much room and you've got enough room to go straight down, and give them a little drink just to get them fired up. It actually works pretty handy. Where am I going to put it? I'll put it right here. Well, I can see gas in it, but that don't mean anything. We'll just put all the gas in it and hope for the best. I'll just set that right there for a minute. Hopefully my needle valve isn't sticking, but here we go. My carburetor rebuild. Well, let's try it again, friends. Let's get this mess out of here. Put this in a safe place. Put my fuel cap back on. And that's definitely turned on. I think. Let's give her a little drink. It's hard to make an updraft carburetor suck up, but we're going to do our very best and spill it all over the floor. Okay. Oh, well, now I got gas everywhere. Come on. That was not the answer I was looking for. Where's my rebuild in the can here again? Well, I can't very well start this with a big puddle on the floor because that would be a bad deal if I should happen to backfire, so I'll just give that a minute. Well, guys, I have a pretty good feeling that now, when I crank this, it's probably gonna fire. As long as it doesn't fire the whole shop, that'll be fine. Just clean this gas right up, get it out of here. Okay, well, here goes nothing. Back up on this thing. Oh, Lordy. Okay. Ignition on. Hit it. Choke. All right. That baby purrs like a kitten. How about that? Yes. Okay, now I'm going to shut it down because there's still no antifreeze in it. I never did add any antifreeze. I just kind of wanted to see if it'd fire up. And boy, does that thing ever. Awesome. Man, that made my whole weekend. Now, since I don't trust this carburetor any farther than I can throw it, I'll just turn my gas back off for a minute. Now, let me come up with some coolant. Guys, that thing runs good. There's something about the way an old straight six runs that just really, I don't know, puts lead in my pencil. I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for here? A little hitch in my giddy up. They just sound nice. All right. Yeah, let's get a, what is there? No, I can't see any coolant in there. Man, guy, that thing just purrs like a kitten. I expected it to run a little crappier than that for all the trouble it gave me. But you know what? A win is a win, so let's take it. Now, the next question is that clutch going to work? That's my next. I bet it won't. I'll probably have to put it in gear and fire it up and drive it outside, but I could be wrong. Let's see, what was this? About a half a gallon I had. I'll just add this to it. Oh, actually, I can see coolant right at the top. So she actually wasn't that low. That's good. It just needed to add a little bit so I could get to where I could see it. Well, guys, what do you say we fire this thing up and try to pull it outside? Yeah? I think that's a fine idea. Let's open the door up. Let some Michigan inside here. Terrific. Love it. Okay. Now, will you start up and run again for me, big girl? Let me turn the gas back on again. Well, it's not immediately pouring out of the carburetor, so I feel good about that. Now, I really got to figure out a better way to get on and off this thing. Oh dear. Well, we found our first leak. Where are we leaking? Oh, I kind of don't doubt that. Someone's welded some lines together on this thing, and they're not happy. But, well, let's see what happens. Fire her up again. What the heck? Nice. Hey, that's reverse. Nice. Nice. guys. Let's take a long spin in this thing. Let's put some snowy miles on it here. Take this thing out in the field, friends. I'm not going to be able to wear my gloves while doing this. That stinks because it's kind of cold out here. But the video's worth it. Yeah. Not easy to get on and off. Okay. So that's the only issue, but someone's welded those together. And I think that's where it's coming from. But I ain't gonna lose any sleep about that right now. So let's. All it's doing kind of works. There we go. Boy, she sure does sound nice. Let's pick her up here. Wow, guys, it makes my entire weekend. Good deal. Friends, how about that? That calls for celebration. I got some of this Spotted Cow beer. I had a subscriber meet with me and his son to take over one of JT's smaller projects that I was never going to get to. And he was kind enough to bring me this from Wisconsin. So thanks for that. It's pretty darn good too. Guys, this is just, I gotta say, this is definitely another win. I know I get lucky quite a bit. This is definitely one of those times. Although I'm kind of noticing a pattern here, guys. When it comes to these IH tractors, it's been more work to get either one started. More waiting. Have to throw a part or two at them. But they both run like an absolute top. No complaints about that. Especially with this one, because it sat for, I don't know how long this one sat. That one, I at least know that one sat for 30 years. This one, I don't know how long this one sat, but being some of the stuff that I pulled out of it, it wasn't parked yesterday, so let's just call it that. But on that, she runs great. No tips, clicks, knocks, bangs, booms. This tractor is now worthy of further love. Now I got a few things I got to work out here, guys. Like I said, I got a little hydraulic fluid leak, and I think it's coming from wherever this guy welded these lines together for I don't know why reason. Who knows? But I should be able to find my way to the bottom of that or put new lines on it. Brakes work like a champ on this thing. At least that side does. This side probably would if I tighten the bolts back down again, because I had to loosen this one up to get it off the trailer when Wayno brought it here for me. And the TA doesn't seem to do anything. Well, no big deal one way or another. I mean, it goes forward. And that's good enough for me. And it could be something frozen in that linkage for all I know, guys. I had a nice little chat with Pete about this tractor here, and he mentioned that it is definitely a mechanical TA, not like the hydraulic TA in this one. And so I don't know. Maybe there's some linkage in there. Who knows? Doesn't matter, guys. For what I got invested into this tractor right now, it'll probably pull. So friends, that's going to do it for me today. I still got a lot of work to do on this, but this is going to get kind of put on the back burner a little bit because I got a lot of work I want to do on the 806. You know, I don't want to get too many irons in the fire at once, although I seem to thrive on that. That's how it goes. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Call, see if you can figure out what's wrong with this thing. It won't crank up and everything seems to be put together right.
It ain't got no gas in it.